Denise's oldest daughter.
Yay!
Many of you in this room have their own special connection to Denise. She has worked hard with you on many different issues. She's fought for you in many different battles and stood up for you. And not because it was easy or popular, but because it was the right thing to do. I just want to share 2 quick stories to illustrate the way she does this business of representing and legislating. You may well know about Eversource coming into town to clear cut all our trees around the power lines with extreme prejudice. Well, do you know that Denise actually fought so strongly on this issue that one day she, in all truth, kicked Eversource off their own property here in town. She said, come back and try another day, but she, of course, would be there too. The second story I wanted to share is, you may have read in the news about the passage of the opioid bill. A massive, complicated bill intended to not only increase treatment, but also increase prevention. This bill, of course, came through the Mental Health Substance Use and Recovery Bill Committee, and you may know that Denise is the chair of that committee, and so she was the main author and the main arbiter of what went into that bill. But do you actually have any idea how difficult it is to bring a massive bill like that across the finish line? Yes. The size, the scope, the impact, it's incredible. And it's definitely a massive undertaking. And with months and months of non-stop meetings with stakeholders trying to build consensus to get to a go-ahead piece of legislation. And at the very end, Denise and her staff were in non-stop negotiations for 5 days. And then they negotiated through the night for 17 hours to complete that process. Incredible. I know that you, like me, believe that Denise Garlick is exactly who we need to represent us in the State House. I know this because, I know this because I have been with you holding signs, knocking on doors, and making the phone calls. I also know that there is power in the statement we make when we elect a woman. All this experience and with this excellent community organizing skills. What that statement says is that this district understands that governing is about problem solving, and that's hard work, and you need somebody with integrity and character to pull it off. Yeah. To continue this, we will need you to stay active all the way through November 8th. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Now I get to the very best part, and that is that I get to tell you all this. I am so proud of my mother. It is my honor to be a witness to her amazing story. She is my role model, and she is the role model for anyone who wants to make their community a better place. I love her very much, and I am thrilled to introduce her. Everyone, please join me in cheering for the representative of the 13th.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start it all, I would have to say, to be recognized by a very bright, very accomplished, very wise woman would be an honor for me anytime. And there are so many wonderful women in this room. To have that woman be my daughter. There are some moments in our lives that we will never forget. This is one of those moments in my life. Thank you. As luck would have it, there's a lot of people that came from where she came from. So, with my husband, come on over, Russell. We would love to introduce to you all of our children. So you have Beth Monica. This is my daughter, Beth. Person in town said to me, you know, Denise, the one person I think could beat you in an election is Beth Garlick. My son, Alexander. Yeah. Alexander now comes with a special bonus, which is our baby, Raymond. And my son, Andy. One moment, because this is the part of my opportunity to speak to you that I cannot make any mistakes in, because I want to say thank you. So to every one of you who has worked on this campaign, we were trying to think of a metaphor of what a campaign that goes through the hot days of summer, when people have other things on their mind and lots of distractions, and yet people pick up a piece and they make it all happen. And I kept thinking of a potluck summer. And they brought what was their specialty, and they brought what was their strength. And in the end, with these incredible results, we've had a terrific, terrific banquet. So I know that you all know how dearly I love my high school sweetheart and my husband for all this time. But what I need you to know is he has been a rock in my life. And you need a rock ever more than in a campaign. So thank you. So Tom Jacob is here. So Tom has been wise, and he has been kind, and he has been measured, and the entire time he has never, ever once faltered. And I know that when he's calm with me at 5 o'clock in the evening, he's a wild man at 3 a.m. All the data, Tom, all the thoughts, everything you did, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're very welcome.
Tom also was the campaign treasurer, so he had this kind of difficult position where he wanted to do a whole lot of things, and they had to worry about the money he was spending. And Deb Jacob, where are you, Deb?
Hey, Deb.
So I have decided, Deb and I have been together since 5:45 this morning. We're in Medfield at 6 a.m.
Really?
We spent the entire day together. And it occurred to me in the middle of those 14 hours that Deb had the most difficult job of all. Because Deb was trying to manage me while she was trying to manage Tom. So Deb, for all the joy, all the spirit, all the love you bring into the campaign, and for being my dear friend, thank you. Who has seen a Facebook post or an Instagram, can you raise your hand? So Andy and Amanda have done that incredibly. And Andy and Amanda are both accomplished professionals in their own right. We're working all day and working on our social media all night. And the messaging and the way, the tone of the media, social media coming across was just so wonderful, and I think contributed to this feeling of community that we all had in the campaign. So Andy and Amanda, thank you, thank you. So Mr. Dan Matthews. Together for a long time now, and he is a mentor, if I will take his advice. And he has been a political ally, and I have learned so much from him. And most of all, he has been my friend, my real friend. Thank you, Dan. And Colleen Schaller is right here. In the town of Needham, Colleen Schaller was only the 6th person ever elected to the Board of Selectmen. Only the 6th woman. Yeah. I'm sure the 6th really good person. But Colleen has been a role model for me. She too has been my friend. I became the 7th woman ever elected in our town to serve on the Board of Selectmen. And Colleen has always brought a common sense kind of gravity to anything we were thinking about and anything we were planning for. And I followed in your footsteps. I will always follow in your footsteps, Colleen, always. So Charlie Stefanini is here. Charlie Stefanini is the man behind the numbers. People who think that campaigns are magic don't understand campaigns. Campaigns are science. And Charlie has been our scientist. He has always also been my dear friend. Charlie and I have traveled the road through a lot of different realms together for more than 20 years now. And today, any campaign is anxiety producing. And today, every time I went back to the headquarters to see someone or say something, Charlie was working, and I knew that we were on track. I knew that, Charlie. And Bob Larkin is here, who has attended our committee meetings. A wise voice, a seasoned voice, but to Bob and Lee Larkin, what I want to say thank you for is Katie Larkin. I just got off the phone with Katie Larkin. Katie Larkin is a young woman who's in college, and I said every campaign has times of lots of excitement, and then there's times when there isn't a lot of excitement, and it's kind of lonesome, and it's hot, and there's work to be done. And it was Katie Larkin who was at my side in those times, and I will never forget that. Thank you. We have Jerry Clark. Are you here, Jerry? Great. Jerry Clark has been incredible, and he's got a formula for campaigning in Dover. And let me tell you, that formula worked, Jerry. And Carol Lisbon and Janet Greenwood are here, and I thank you both. I thank you both. Dover made a very strong showing this evening. I want you all to share with me. I want to introduce to you my very good friend, my very strong political ally, the person I know that is better in retail politics than anyone I have ever met. If you want to believe that politics is personal, you just have to talk to Eileen DeSorga. Eileen, you are incredible. Sandeman's here, and Mike Toro's here, and Susan Bernstein's here. Medfield is my home as much as Needham and Dover, and I feel that every moment in Medfield, and I love the honor of representing Medfield. I love that. now that I've got through that. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the campaign, and then I wanted to talk to you about why I think a campaign that ends up in an election matters. So just 4 little stories from the campaign. One of the things about a campaign is it's an opportunity to go out and meet more people, to strengthen relationships, to meet new friends. I wanted to tell you about this little girl, and her name was Izzy, and her mother brought her over to meet me. And for Izzy, she wanted to meet me because she liked the garlic signs, and she liked the garlic clove on top of the aisle. And her mother wanted her to meet me because I was an elected woman in our community. And so I had this conversation with Izzy, and we talked about the signs, but then I told her that I was the 7th woman elected to the Board of Selectmen. I'm one of only 196 women ever elected to the state legislature. In the history of Massachusetts, only 196 women have ever been elected. And I wanted her to know that today we have less women in the state legislature than we had 10 years ago. And I wanted Izzy to know that, to see me, and I wanted to ask Izzy to please think about running for office. So Izzy is 8 years old. I'm going to see where she is when she's 18, and I'm going to see what she's doing when she's 80. But when Izzy walked away from me, when Izzy walked away from me, I want you to know, she walked a little taller. But she had stronger shoulders, and I believe in Izzy, and I'm glad that for Izzy that I could be a role model, and I'm glad for all the young women we want to encourage and empower to move forward. And we had a young man on the campaign trail whose name was Zach, and I have known Zach through the VFW. You might know him, a VA nurse, very connected to the VFW and to our veterans. And every year there's an essay contest, and year after year, Zach would win the essay contest on what democracy means to him. And when Zach was leaving for college, the last thing he did before he left Needham is he went to town hall and he voted, he got his sticker, and he sent the text to his mom and said, "Send this picture to Denise." And that's what democracy was all about. All those years he was getting ready, about that kind of vote. And then I wanted you to know we did a lot of house parties. People might know, and people who did house parties are standing right here. And they were our captains, and I am so grateful. And they brought their friends, and they brought their neighbors, and we had real conversations, something that's really missing today, I believe, in the way we're conducting our political affairs. We need real conversations. We need to sit down and care about each other. And so for the people who had the house parties, I say thank you. But we had a house party at Maureen's house, and at the very end, I'm very proud of Massachusetts and the things that we've done. And I know we've got a lot of work to do. But I was sitting with this young woman, Ann, and she was on my left. And at the end, I told her, and I told the whole group that was gathered, I said, you know, with Massachusetts, we're #1 in public education. We've got an achievement gap we have to close, and we have to stay committed to that. But we're #1 in public education. We are #1 in veteran services. We are #1 in life sciences. We are #1 in the number of clean energy jobs in the nation, in Massachusetts. I said, I'm proud of what we're doing. I'm proud of the way we're moving forward. And I turned, and her eyes were filled with tears. And I said to her, Ann, what is it? And she said, no one speaks of hope anymore. All the news we hear is bad. You made me feel so good. There's hope, there's good work that's happening. I'm glad about the future. The very last story I want to tell you is about my friend Lois, and this is a simple story. Lois is an older adult who has been in this community for years, who has worked in this community, who has volunteered in this community, who has been in our town meetings, and I'm in the supermarket, and she stops me and she says to me, Denise, we're with you always. So, for all of those folks. Every encounter matters. Every conversation counts. It's not enough to ask for the vote. I believe you have to earn the vote. It's not enough to tell people what you're going to do. You have to show people what you're going to do. It's not enough to hear what people are saying. You have to really listen, and listen with your heart. And with everything that I have listened to and learned, I know moving forward in the next, as we get through the November election and we move forward, I want to continue to work on education. It is a major value in our towns of Needham, Dover, and Medfield. I will, as a nurse, bring my education and experience to every conversation in the State House about quality, affordable health care. I will use every skill I've learned from the leaders in Needham on proactive energy and environmental policies. And I will continue always, with my heart and with all of my understanding, work for the most vulnerable people in our Commonwealth and ensure through budget and through policy that the resources are necessary for those individuals. And for every one of us here, I will always work for respect and fairness for all people in our Commonwealth. I thank you all for this vote tonight. I thank you for letting me move forward in this role, and I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, this has been a very good experience, and I look forward to working with everyone going forward.